Orange County Water District, amazing utility, very well awarded. But I want to talk about you, because you've been there for, I was looking at your resume almost, your LinkedIn. You've been there for over 30 years. That's a good, as we say in England in cricketing terms, that's a very good innings. So you started as the construction manager, and then you moved on to the GWRS program manager in 2002.
Yep.
And then you finally became the general manager in 2007. So to kind of go back a little bit, as an engineer, did you always envisage being a water utility for over 3 decades?
To answer your question, I never expected it whatsoever. I went into, after getting my undergraduate degree, I went to work for a general contractor. So I worked for a large national contractor for about 8 years. So I graduated college in 1978. It was at a time when there was tremendous growth. Clean Water Act, wastewater agencies were having to go to secondary treatment. So there was a lot of work in that field. So I just kind of fell into it. Those were the types of projects that I built early in my career, helped build early in my career, working for a contractor. I love trying to solve problems, and I love putting things together. So it was a real natural fit. And when I saw the opportunity at OCWD to act as their construction manager, I acted on it, and I've loved it. I've been doing it for 31 years, as you say. I've loved every minute of it, and continue to love what I do. I think when I stop loving what I do, then I'll walk out the door. But right now, I've really enjoyed every aspect of my career. Because
I actually looked back at our interview back from 2014, and I have to apologize firstly for my awfully coloured shirt and tie combination back then. But during that interview, you mentioned, and a big point was about bringing the public on board, right? Bringing your customers and the residents of Orange County right from the very start, telling them exactly what's going on, the details of what is reverse osmosis to the general public, and then and that I think could be part of your legacy, right? Not only spearheading this project, but having a proactive audience and consumers and people and residents that really kind of love what you do, right? And they're on board with the changes.
And that you're right, Tom. That was one of the keys to success to the project. I can't take credit for that. I give that credit to our board of directors. We had a committee at that time, and they were the ones that said, listen, what we need to do first and foremost, before we do any engineering or anything else, is we have to develop an outreach plan. And so we developed that outreach plan. Where I have a small part is probably being involved in that outreach plan. I think the one thing that we figured out for ourselves was in order to do the outreach, we felt that it would be best if we had our own employees do the outreach, not hire a consultant to go out and talk to people. So we had to take engineers who hate to talk to people and transform them, in essence, and make sure that they were able to clearly articulate what it is that we were going to do so that we could gain the trust of the public. And we were very successful in doing that.
Talk to me about what you're doing in regards to PFAS removal and looking into the groundwater there.
Yeah, and actually that is a huge issue for us. Right now, the state of California is trying to determine the regulation for PFAS, and we have what are called response levels. Right now, they're set at a combination of PFOA and PFOS at 70 nanograms per liter. The state is going to separate those and have individual response levels, and they're looking at setting a response level for PFOA at 10 nanograms per liter and PFOS at 40 nanograms per liter. If they do set them at those low levels, and those are extremely low levels, we will lose about a third of the pumping out of our groundwater basin. So currently, groundwater supplies 77% of the total water demands for about 2.5 million people in Orange County. And if the state sets the regulations at those levels, it will have a significant impact, and those retail water agencies will have to then put some sort of treatment if they want to continue to serve that groundwater as a part of their potable supply.
It could be a fundamental shift. So it's good that you're proactively looking into this and how this could affect operations. Like you say, ahead of predicting and preempting that regulatory change.
Yeah, we are. We're trying to work with the regulators to take a little bit more cautious approach. It's very, very difficult in California. We're highly regulated.
Of course.
But we're trying to work with them. We're working with our retail water agencies to come up with schemes to be able to treat the PFAS at the wellhead. Right now, the two primary technologies are granulated activated carbon or ion exchange. So either one of the two of those work, and we have studies out. We're doing some pilot testing on 10 different carbons and 4 different resins to see which ones would work the best. And we're working with our retailers to try to find solutions for them that we'd be able to implement on their behalf.
That's the positive news in this, is the solutions are available to remove PFAS from the water, right? So you're just fine tuning and dialing in which are the best for the local circumstances.
Yes, yeah. Exactly right. Yep.
The expansion, the final part of this project, Your Legacy, 2023 is when that's due to be finished, right? So
yep.
what do you see as the next stage for you? Because sometimes I speak to utility bosses and they kind of want to see projects through, and then they become consultants or they work on their golf handicaps. What do you think is the next stage for you?
It's funny you would mention that, because both of those really, and maybe a third, maybe run for a water board, become a director of a water board myself.
That's it. Yeah.
But no, I really have a keen interest in continuing to perhaps consult after I retire from the water district. There again, kind of being able to solve problems, being able to help people implement projects, come up with different ideas, solve different issues that may occur during the course of a project. I think I have very unique skill sets for that. I love to travel, so my wife and I love to travel, so I certainly wouldn't be averse to extending that consultancy beyond the United States and perhaps the UK, Europe, and beyond. So there's so much going on in the water industry these days. There's so many challenges. I mean, here in California, with direct potable reuse being something in the future that I think is going to happen, a lot of agencies are going to be working on these issues for the next 20, 30, 40 years. So certainly I think there'd be some opportunities for me to spend a few more years beyond after I leave here to do some good within the industry.
Amazing. I mean, who wouldn't want to hear from that 30 plus years of experience, overseeing arguably the world's leading reuse scheme? You mentioned the UK. We can't quite promise you the sunny weather of California and the climate, nor the fruit, but certainly I know your experience, and I think you're right. Reuse, the demand for reuse applications are only going to increase moving forward as people need to put in water resilience plans, climate adaptation plans, and really learn from successful cases elsewhere. So I think you still have an amazing role to play to pass that experience on.
I appreciate the kind words, Tom.
Great stuff. Well, Mike, great to catch up with you again. Thanks for your time as always. Wishing you the best of luck for that third and final expansion of the GWRS. And let's keep in touch.
Will do. Thanks a lot.
All right. Take care, Mike. Thank
Cheers.
you. So Mike,